channel just changed.
So you mentioned your vlogs.
Yes.
I have been trying to stay away from them a little bit because I wanted to talk all about this paramotoring on the show. So let me kind of I want to ask you. I want to kind of interview about paramotoring a little bit, as it were. All right. So you went ahead and pulled the trigger, right? You have purchased you got the 190cc, right?
That's right. It is in my garage. It's fully mine and paid for.
How much? Out the door price, yeah.
Yeah, like 11.4 something.
A bargain. You see that black guy on the Avengers? You think he could get off the ground for 11 grand? He's using 11 grand worth of fuel every time he takes off with that wingsuit.
That's true.
There's nothing cheap about any kind of motorsport, right? Like if you want to race cars, if you want to race go-karts, you're going to spend a bundle.
Oh yeah.
Learning to fly for under 12 grand is pretty good.
I think so.
It's about as cheap as it gets, and it's about as convenient as it gets. I would argue not the coolest kind of flying, right? If I said I was getting into like acrobatic,
it's a bit Wile E. Coyote.
You know, if I was getting into
did it come in like an Acme box? That's what I imagine.
It came bubble wrapped, but yeah. But you know what's neat to me is I can literally launch from my yard. Like,
all right, let's talk about that.
Go on.
So you went to how many times have you gone to sort of a training program thing with other people at the facility? Have you just done that the once?
Twice.
Okay, so have you, and you've flown now, right? Have you taken off with the motor on your back? Okay, so you just did the parachute thing?
Yeah. So
did you get off the ground with it?
The first day, literally, it was really windy, so it was difficult. All we did is launch and like control it. In addition to a ton of like ground course stuff on.
From the ground, you mean?
Yeah.
You controlled it.
Yeah, you're standing there almost like a stunt kite, but stunt kites are whatever 3 feet wide. Mine is 26 square meters, and it's dangerous because it can pull you off in the sky. We're standing on a hill that's like 100 feet wide at the top, and one guy got
How'd
pulled.
your husband die? Well, he was learning to fly, and he just disappeared into the Atlantic.
You ever seen Wizard of Oz?
Let me explain this. I already have a pilot name. So you know how there's Maverick and Iceman and whatever.
Goose.
You're talking to Snowflake.
You're gonna be Goose.
So Snowflake, yeah. So I'll explain.
Snowflake. That's not. I imagine.
I'll explain when you let me.
I imagine some sort of paramotoring Sergeant Hartman. I am Sergeant Hartman, your senior paramotoring instructor. What's your malfunction, Snowball? That $12,000 rig on your back, boy. We're gonna drag you today.
So it was too windy, kind of, to train. And, the instructor's doing it, but everyone else is, like, not allowed. And there's one guy who has a wing just for training, like it's extra small. And I'm wanting to go. Like, the instructor's doing it. He's making it look easy enough. And I'm like, don't you understand? Like, I could do that. I'm watching you do it. It looks easy. I'm a unique snowflake who hardly needs any training. And let me at it. And he's like, you're serious, aren't you? And I was like, 100% serious. I will try this right now. I'm ready. And shortly after that, the guy with the like undersized wing that you can't even use to fly gets drug across the hill. And he's going like over the cliff, except that there's two instructors there. One jumps on the wing, the other jumps on the person, and they manage to arrest his momentum and save his life. I don't know. Save him from serious scratching and briars.
That would have been so awful if Woody got sucked off and died the first day. And we were like, dear God, how high up was he? And he just kind of got drug around a lot. Maybe 6 feet at one point. I don't know.
So I did fly it that day, and I was the star of the class. I was like I crushed it. The next day, I was not the star of the class, which was a shame.
I have to ask. You were the star of the class. Was this like when Kramer was the best karate student, but he was just like judo chopping children? Like there were other adults at this class, right?
Yeah, actually. Okay. So if you were to like line us up and guess who would be the best, I think you'd pick me as second worst. There's one guy who's 62, and he's a farmer. He's kind of like with it and everything, but still, I think you'd rank me in front of him. But the other guys, like, there's a paratrooper there. He's retired now, but he's like a paratrooper, and he's got all this experience jumping out of planes, and you'd think it would translate. There was another guy there who was also military, Chris. He was super great. There's a guy there's a totally active surfer and kite surfer and wind surfer. And now he's learning this. So, there are other adults there who would be...
Are you tempted at all to go in your backyard and fly into the sky?
Not yet.
I'm sure he is. He owns a plane.
But he doesn't have the training yet. He hasn't gotten to that stage yet. He's probably a couple weeks away at least, like a couple more trips before he gets to like, all right, time for takeoff.
I'm hoping it happens in June.
Like, is there anything in you that's like, I could just do it now?
See, here's the thing. If you fuck up, it's expensive and dangerous, right? So, like, for example, it was literally yesterday I had my second day of training. And on one of the landings, I crashed, right? So I don't know how high I got. Not high, 6 feet, 10 feet. And I'm coming in, like, fast. And instead of, like, running it out well, I ran it out poorly and landed on my knees or something. And I'm like, man, so if I had like a 75-pound engine on my back, with the fuel and everything, that would really suck, right?
Yeah.
And worse yet, like, what if the prop is spinning? Now what do we got going on? Like, what kind of damage would there be to that? What kind of damage would there be to me? This is why they train you.
Okay.
To avoid that.
What's Jackie saying about this? When you get back from flight school or whatever, what is her demeanor?
She started as a no on this whole thing, and I was like,
hard no.
Yeah, she gave me a no, but I
put down.
Yeah, but I don't pay much.
Saw it.
You see, remember that? She was like, put it. That's my foot. It's down. Yeah. No. And
Jackie, you can spend your YouTube money however you wish.
I talked to her about it, and I was like, honey, this is just me, and this isn't like the Friday vlog, so whatever, tomorrow's vlog. But I was like, when I was 12. I got into surfing, I got it in my head, and I was all in for like a decade. It dominated my thoughts, right? The whole thing about me hitting the swim team and breaking records and stuff the first year, that's true, but I wasn't the same kind of first-year swimmer other people were, because I was surfing year-round, right? And it would snow out, and I'd be like, dude, there's surf, let's hit this. And then after surfing, it was hockey. That was like where I spent my attention. I used to carry hockey gear in my car just in case I drove by a pickup game. Like, it happened one time. And
in the Carolinas.
No, I lived in like Jersey, Pennsylvania at the time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, like hockey was a big thing to me, and I don't pretend that I was great, but I was really passionate. And then after hockey came all the fighting stuff, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, whatever. Like that was where all my attention went. And now I want to do this like flying thing, and I'm like, Jackie, that's just me. Like this is what you signed up for. I was like this since I was 12. Like this, and to suddenly say like no, the only thing you're allowed to be into is mowing this yard out there. I'm like, I do more interesting shit than that.
What you needed to do was ask for something or suggest something that was just bananas, like out of the realm of possibility, and then temper that back to be like, well, then fine, Jackie, I'll just buy a plane. Are you happy? Like you needed to be like maybe you were going to become a professional like runner with the bulls or something and be going over there constantly, buying equipment, bull protection. Like that's a real risk. Those Spaniards die all the time with that, I think.
Well, you picked a ridiculous one. Yeah. Yep. But no, I just told her, I was like, look, like I just, you gotta let me be me. It's the same me I've always been. And and she relented.
Well, is that everything? Do you think we've covered paramotoring?
I don't know. I will say this, and it's in the, I did like a little thing to my camera. My comments today were filled with like midlife crisis. And while I'm not like particularly sensitive, like it doesn't hurt my feelings, I'm like, I just feel like that's not right though. Like like I just ran through, right? Like I've been doing, like I've had passion about stuff since I was 12. Like that's not you. If I had done any of these, like if right now I was like, dude, I am totally into surfing. I'm making 6-hour drives a couple times a week so that I can go surfing. It would be filled with this is Woody's midlife crisis, right? If I had said that about fighting, if I had said that about hockey, right? I'm picking up hockey. I'm getting into this. Here I go. They'd be like, this is Woody's midlife crisis. They'd be watching me all suited up, learning to play with like children.
You do a thing almost every year. It was MMA last year. You were coming in with like, black eyes and shit. And,
I do shit. So
you're just very obsessive. It seems like about like you get on one thing and it is. Everything else can fuck off. I'm into hockey right now. I'm into flying right now. Like I'm into woodworking right now. Like that just seems to be your personality. You're very focused on whatever the thing you're doing is, and everything else can fuck off until it's interesting again.
This thing's going to be cool. 'Cause someone was telling me the other day, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I would believe it. They were saying that soon you'll need a pilot's license to operate a drone commercially, which would mean, if you're filming some YouTube videos, you would need a pilot's license. So, which is shit. But obviously... with
a real pilot's license?
Yeah. You would think it's absurd that you can't, shoot like tannerite without a federal explosives license too. But I think it's kind of the same thing. If you're making money flying a drone, they're saying, yeah, you're kind of a commercial pilot right now, right? Because you're earning a living flying a drone, technically speaking. So she was saying something about that. But I imagine you up in your paramotor getting some cool footage from up there.
I do think that'll be. I need to buy a helmet. And one of the requirements I have in a helmet is I need I want multitasking Bluetooth. I want to be listening to music in my ear protection. I want to be able to call home. I want to be able to talk to a GoPro so that the mic right in front of my mouth can be recorded over Bluetooth via GoPro.
You need a visor that comes down with a heads-up display like a fighter pilot, so everywhere you look, it's that would be like an augmented reality type thing.
I've been looking for the right helmet. I don't know.
Helmets are expensive when you're actually getting a legit helmet that does a thing, like those military helmets that we use when we've got night vision goggles and thermal scopes. Just the helmet alone is $400 or $500 or something like that, and it has so many attachments. But when you put on a nice helmet, it's oh shit, this is something somebody spent a lot of time, money, and effort making fit my skull comfortably and snugly and protecting me. I feel like with a bicycle helmet, you just kind of got half an eggshell on the top of your head, and it just feels goofy. But when you put on one of those, I don't know what they're called, one of those really high-end military helmets, it's shit. I could take a fucking hammer to the head right now and keep going. I wouldn't even feel it.
Still trying to figure out what I want in a helmet. Do I want something that's heavy, like you're talking about? Do I want a bicycle helmet?
These are really lightweight. You
need to get one of those leather helmets that the Wright brothers wore.
Like an aviator.
Where it's got it's got those ear straps, but they flip out on the side, and you got the
floppy sides and the white fur.
You should look just like the Red Baron when you go up in the air with the scarf thrown back.
I love this. There's a scarf and literally the propeller's 6 inches behind my head.
Play that Snoopy song. That should be the video.
No capes.
Play the Snoopy song. Like the Snoopy when he's after the Red Baron. Remember that old song? Da, 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 da. That would be such a funny video.
That would be. I would love to see you dressed up like an early 20th century pioneer of flight.
Yeah.
As you're take off.
I want a close up of your face as you pull the goggles from your head off your leather, skull cap or whatever down to your eyes. But
it's really in slow motion, and it's dun 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 dun.
That should be
It looks very regal, and you stand there.
I know
exactly.
I mentioned
at the great beyond.
It could be a little pre-roll that you put together.
Points in it, when the music goes bum bum ba bum bum, and then when it picks up bum bum ba bum bum. Boom, that's when you see him taking off. That'd be great.
Before every flight,
point up at the air like you're a pioneer, I want you to make sure that there is a commercial plane flying through the sky at the same time. So it's you're not a company, you're not forging new ground. Oh, that's a funny video. You have to do that. I'm just picturing you in that leather hat with the ears flopped out.
So many cool places to go with that. Where is a place that's cool to take those? Because obviously just fields and just flying over where you live is really cool. But are there any places that people that because they're mountainous or rocky or maybe you start on a mountain and go through a valley? Are there places like that?
Yeah. So locally, there's some cool places. We've got lakes and stuff here that you can fly around and drag a foot in the water and stuff like that.
You keep saying that, but that sounds awful because that is how the most people die.
It is, yeah. The number one cause of death on these things is not crashing. It's not hitting the prop or anything. It's drowning. That's how people drown.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because the water is an attractive place to fly. And if you make the one mistake, it grabs you and pulls you down, and then they panic. Now,
you got a backpack that weighs with a motor that's 75 pounds, you said, and then if the parachute were to land on top of you now in some way, and you got tangled in that, I don't know if Aquaman himself here could pull himself out of that.
I swear I'm not the least bit scared of that parachute.
I imagine you're finding a bubble of air in the parachute.
Yeah, you make one. I don't even see what's hard. They're like, are there strings? Yeah, fuck it. Like,
Well, I hope the GoPro's rolling for that.
We're gonna have to pull that one from the cloud.
So, what was I gonna say? So locally, that's that. And then people like buzzing over farms and like going around churches and seeing the big steeples and stuff. Like, I imagine some really neat footage happening when you just like Maverick style low pass over a church, you know,
or like children's birthday parties, things that would upset people.
But
I want to see you do.
There's like meetups and stuff that happen at beaches. There's meetups that happen in mountains. Moab is a really neat place to go. They like go through the canyons and sort of, you know, either just above them or actually in them and zoom around. Maybe you want to be a more skilled pilot than I am for some of these things.
This is awesome. We should do some research and find out if if there's what the restrictions are about shooting from this thing. Because like, imagine if I know that you're not supposed to, but there's always exceptions to every rule.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if we went to Texas and you're in your paramotor, and you can shoot hogs from it? Like, that would be so fucking cool.
You know, I read online. There's this guy, Super Del Sanchez, who's like infamous in the paramotor community.
Yeah.
He's always putting everyone else's equipment down, but he's also a really good pilot. Anyway, he shot from his paramotor, and everyone was like, oh my God, that's illegal. But I don't think he actually got into trouble with the law, implying to me that it's just regular idiots on the internet who hate him in the first place, assuming that there's laws against it.
I just can't imagine it being against the law in Texas to do it, because it's perfectly legal to go up in a chopper and do it.
Right. Yeah,
You're
I'm
not
with
the
you.
one like the pilot of the
Well, the
chopper
chopper
isn't
could pull a
pointing
handgun
gun
out and plug a few too. You know, I think that's legal too. He just wouldn't want to, because there's a whole issue with the rounds getting sucked into the rotors and all.
The whole hobby is simultaneously like really, really awesome and somewhat cringeworthy. And shit, it's right up my alley, I guess.
I like that. All right. I think we've covered paramotor. I'm glad that you fucking pulled the trigger on that. You were like, and soon I will take to the skies. Like last week you said that, and sure enough, you bought the thing and you're doing it. That's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to when you're like a natural and you like pop this thing up at parties and you're like, excuse me, I'm gonna head to the gas station. If anyone needs anything, let me know.
Yeah, right. If it's heavier than a Snickers bar, the answer is no.
Yeah.
You can fuck yourself and your gallon of milk, but you
we're
Cliff
not
Bar,
getting
dude.
king-size candy on this plane. You know, we're a
I got
fun-size kind of
1.2
airline.
kilos of storage. If anyone's interested in anything,
1.2 kilos.
maybe some
bottle of
ruffles.
Half a one?
They can handle some weight, but yeah, there's nothing useful that I can see about a paramotor. Like,
Escaping from like dangerous scenarios, like what if you're on a volcano that's erupting? Boom, you're gone.
And then you clearly flew there and you have bad foresight, because you don't just appear at a volcano like, oh, what have
I think
done?
you put this thing in the truck, and at a moment's notice, you can unpack this shit, get out into the median of the highway in the zombie scenario, and be like, "Fuck off, plebs," and just fucking fly away as the zombie horde annihilates anyone and everyone else. Like this is the ultimate escape move.
Like what, 30 miles away? Where
No,
the zombies
it'll go like 200 kilometers. I think I read. That's far.
I have seen that. I think without changing mine, it would be something like, it's closer to 80, 50
So
kilometers.
I know this certainly.
Miles. Go on.
If you needed to, like based on how it's situated, could you refuel midair? Could you like pour gas in the thing if you it's midair?
Another one of
Be
those
honest,
guys
like if you
behind
needed to, could you?
Like those World War II refuels, and he pulls in and then with a bucket just dumps it in for you. Oh, we got a wonderful midair refueling going on here.
I'm just imagining like one of those one of those 1 gallon
know.
gas cans like dangling from your thing. And you're the thing's like pa-pa, and you're just like, oh shit, and it's like refueling.
So it's meant to be fueled like it. I think it's below the prop and you stand behind it. So it would be really tricky. I'm picturing like a red Solo cup reaching down and back.
A siphon hose.
Certainly nobody does it, and I think you risk chopping your hand off. But if
You shouldn't want to do that. I also want you, good idea, to
Why do I know this is not good?
No, it's great. You're going to give like in-flight updates, but they're only for you because you're the only one on the plane. And so it'll be like, and ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be hitting a little bit of turbulence. Give me 2 seconds, and we'll see if we can get that straightened out. And then you just intentionally just start shaking it a little bit. Oh,
Dude.
Well,
Oh,
it seems
that's
we
probably
won't have to
really
worry
dangerous.
about stopping to go to the bathroom anymore. Just took care of that right now.
Yeah.
They sell the thing.
And you, by the time that reaches the ground, it should be frozen anyway, right?
I can
Like,
totally
you're, like,
see rocking this in the wintertime.
Let's see this. Oh, hell yes.
Yeah,
I like
right?
that. Yeah, I want it to be more. Yeah, let's.
Here, Amazon has a lot of choices here for these things.
Oh, I like this one.
Is it the
Yeah.
top one that you like?
No, I'm linking as we speak. This thing right here comes with the goggles. I'm digging that look.
Strong choice. Strong
Yeah.
choice. I personally, I'm a fan of the brown leather. Maybe the bottom
Yeah,
right
it's-
option.
I prefer brown leather. I just like the style and the goggles that come with the second one.
Well,
Let's see. I wonder if
look-
you can get that one in brown.
Look
yeah,
at
you
it.
get
It's
that
the
one in
bottom
brown.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one in brown, dark brown.
I see no
I
reason
think
not to
you
get
should
this.
I've got a really old bomber's jacket. It's like World War II style. That's I feel like this is gonna be really funny. And it's gonna be a lot of fun for you, I think, when you finally take to the skies and start doing stuff. Maybe some sort of thing where you drop water balloons on stuff or something like dropping bombs from the air would be fun. That we could make that happen. You want to drop bombs in the air?
You know I
let's drop
do.
Bombs from the air.
See, one of the challenges,
can't be-
the paramotor community is tiny, and obviously, right? Like, how many paramotorists do you know?
As one.
One. Yeah.
You're counting me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know a single other person, or I don't know anyone who knows. No one I've ever talked to even knows
I know
that this
one
is an
other
option.
guy, but his is the paraplane that's more like a tricycle with the motor on the back that you sit in. So
Okay. Well, there's Aviator. He was a Call of Duty YouTuber for a while. He does that too. But it's a small community, and I'm just hesitant to upload videos of me like dropping grenades and stuff and causing trouble.
I don't give a fuck about that community. I'll might get into this shit myself, and I'll do bombing runs. I don't care.
See, I want to like go to the meetups and buzz the beaches with the other people and stuff like that.
You should.
Yeah, I
If you get
would
a
want
hat,
that.
get this
The
one
last
I
thing
just-
I would want if I'm paramotoring is to be around another paramotorer. I want to be the star of the show. I don't want, hey, look at me and everyone else who can do this. I want to be like, look at me, motherfucker. It's me. It's just me all by myself. I want to, and plus, like, I want to do something stupid if I'm doing it. I think I'd like to maybe, I don't know, do some stupid things. And I think it'd be fun to get out of it somehow at altitude above water. Like, for some reason, that's occurring to me. Like what if I just get the fuck out and just leave this thing behind?
There's a guy. So what he does is there's a boat, right? And then there's a paramotor guy.
Yeah.
He goes over the boat. He picks up a passenger. He lifts them like 800 feet in the air, and they, I guess, base jump. They have their own little parachute, and they just base jump off the and he just picks people up and takes them all
Base
for
jump.
little.
That's badass. He's a base jumping platform.
Yes,
That's badass.
he's. Oh my gosh, Taylor, is that a Nazi
I want
hat?
you to get, yeah, it's a Nazi pilot hat.
Oh,
You need
fuck
to wear
yeah.
something like that
Luftwaffe.
and just not address it. Be like, yeah, I'm a huge war buff, and it's finally fine to pretend, you know? Sig Heil, you know? Like, and then just head to the skies. This is a really cool hobby. I'm excited to watch these videos and see how it actually works when you're pretty adept at it. Like,
Yeah.
when you're just popping up and down. That'll be cool.
It should be a cool thing. Like in the vlog that went, let's see, live today, there's two people launching, and I almost didn't include the launch footage because I was afraid it didn't look cool enough. They did it tandem, and they had to run for like 200 feet with like skipping and jumping and barely getting lift. But I've watched almost every paramotor video on YouTube at this point, and the people who are good just kind of turn and burn. Like Aviator again. I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but I watch him launch, and I don't know what his magic is, but maybe he has more wind, or maybe he's light, or I don't know, whatever his magic, or maybe just good. But he takes 2 steps and he's airborne, and I'm like, maybe someday I can get to that level. Who knows? But yeah, what are we looking at here now?
Oh, that's excellent, Kyle. We've got a Red Baron costume.
Take to the air like that, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Like
That's
that guy looks like he's got a mission. He's got some shit to take care
I just
of.
want to not address it too, right?
He's
Just
got
dress
a lot.
there's
He's get up in the air, kill some Brits. That's
some
what that looks
springtime
like.
Kill
thing.
some Brits.
I'll
Yeah.
be dressed like that,
And
and
terror bomb London.
people be
motherfucker.
like,
Let's-
"What?" I'm like, "What? Like, what do you? You know, I don't give you shit
That's
about your
different war.
outfit."
Well, if I'm going to emulate a pilot, I want to pick the best kind. You know.
I will say the scarf thing is gonna get me killed, right? Because
Yeah.
And it just get like I imagine you like on camera like, so I'm really digging this look Kyle picked out for, and then it just comes off it, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ, oh.
That's
Well,
a
that
good
was
way to
close.
ruin a $12,000 plane, though. Right?
You're always
wanna
just
do
a
that.
heartbeat away from dying. You know, you're up there fucking 10,000 feet off the ground, and but I feel like this thing is literally built-in redundancy, right? It is a para motor, so you start out with the safety equipment already running.
if the motor dies, you can totally safely glide to Earth. As a matter of fact, a lot of people cut off their motor before they land. Like,
Stealth mode. Oh,
Well-
that's what I like.
Like a Prius.
I'll explain.
sky.
So some motors, not mine, but some motors, even when it idles, the prop keeps spinning,
Yeah.
and they feel like that's dangerous. Like, what if they crash or something? What if they land on their belly and there's a spinning prop? So they like to cut the motor off at like whatever 50 feet.
But also stealth mode, because you come in completely silently from the air any way you want to. This is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What you need is you're dropping into Walmart to pick up a, half gallon of milk, whatever you can fit in that thing.
At most.
Bring back home.
What you do is you go to a further away Walmart so there's less gas in there. And then,
Gonna
Maybe
dump
you can
some
throw a
fuel
couple
if we're gonna
ounces
get the full gallon.
no,
dumping out half of your product.
I'm